Hey guys, thanks for joining us out here at the Range Report. And before we actually hit the range, I wanted to do a quick little unboxing type video to give you an idea of what it is we're going to be reviewing today and what platforms we have them mounted to. We got contacted by a company called Nutrek, and they asked us if we wanted to test out a couple of their optics. We hadn't heard of this company, so we said, yeah, sure, send them along. I don't know if you guys have heard of them or not. Well, I don't know. We hadn't. So we asked them, I said, all right, well, if you got something for a handgun, send us something with RMR. And if you got a rifle Red Dot, let's send one of those along. And that's what they did. The first thing they sent us was the Edge Red Dot. This is a 1x24x17 Red Dot right there with 10 levels of illumination. It comes with a nifty little rubber hat. Comes with a pick rail adapter with the RMR footprint that's on this, and it came with an additional mounting plate that goes in between in case you can't mount directly to your slide. And in the case of the firearm that we selected for this test, that was the case. This is my Ross Martin RM1C, and so we don't ever have to hear about anybody saying we flagged ourselves. This gun has already been dismantled and is empty. We wanted to be able to show you some close-ups of this thing. You've got 10 levels of illumination, 2 for what they call night vision. They're not night vision, it's just, I guess, the lighting conditions being darker. You've got 10 levels of illumination, easily obtainable through the little paddle switches right here. You've got adjustments for windage and elevation on here. It does sit a little bit proud, a little tall, and it doesn't have a cut in the back there, so there's no chance of co-witnessing unless you've got like suppressor sight heights on it. Now, it's a non-etched reticle on here. The glass isn't etched, it's just a red dot that reflects in, and you can see from there it is. You can see right there, this is set on setting number 5, and it's still a nice, pretty bright red dot, pretty clear at that height. The brighter you make it, the more it obscures your target. We're going to be running a couple of hundred rounds through this thing tonight to test for zero, but I can tell you, as according to advertised, it's water resistant, not waterproof, it's water resistant. It's good for the cold, it's good for the heat, and we've tested both of those. We had this in the freezer for 48 hours, left it alone, didn't touch nothing, picked it up, took it out, thing turned right on, no problem. Left it out in 110 degree heat for 12 hours, left it all by itself, walked over, picked it up, thing turned right on, no problem. We did that for a couple of days over a few tests just to make sure. Seemed to, work with no problem. Now, we're not going to be smashing it with a hammer. We're not going to be like bouncing it off of cinder block walls or any of that stuff, to test it out. These are real world tests. We're not going to, this is not an abuse test. It's, can you rely on it if you need to under normal circumstances? Is it worth the $169 MSRP versus something that costs $600? So the other thing they sent us was this one. This is the Nutrek Ocelot Red Dot. This is a Red Dot rifle sight. This one too, 10 levels of illumination. It has 11 levels of illumination. It's got flip ups front and back. It's got the honeycomb front on there that cuts down the glare. This has got a waterproof jacket on it that, according to them, makes it completely waterproof, completely submergible. And it's true. We actually took this out, left it in a bucket of water for 12 hours, picked it up, turned it on, things still work, no problem. No water on the inside, nothing like that. The one problem that we did have with it is the jacket that's on this thing. If you've ever been scuba diving and you put on a scuba suit, you know how tight that is? Same thing with this. When this thing went on, it is so tight around the adjustment knob that when we tried to turn it on and choose illumination levels, it was like we had to break out a channel lock to get the thing to move. But we saw a little bit of REM oil on there. We solved that problem. It didn't interfere with its waterproof capabilities, but it did allow us to move the dial around a little bit. We assume that'll loosen up a little bit as time goes on. You do have the integrated screwdriver tips on each of the turrets that helps you adjust for windage and elevation. We've got this one set up on my 5150. This is my Battle Elite rifle that we've got set up. This is 300 blackout. You guys might remember this rifle. This is the only rifle that has the takedown pins that don't exist anymore, so that you can swap uppers in under a couple of seconds. Well, that's what we have this on. We have this set up behind a 6x magnification aim point that's on here, and just want to give you guys a quick little glimpse of this. Let me see. I don't know if you'll be able to, there it is. There you can pick that up on camera and you can see the red dot. This thing I have set up right now on illumination level number 5. And I'm going to put the magnifier up on in front of it. You should, don't know, there it goes. There you go. To be able to see that. We figure if we're going to put this on a rifle, we want a little bit more magnification, and I put that up there. The aim point seems to line up a little bit better than my vortex that I have over here. But we're going to be running rounds through these things, and again, we're not going to be beating the crap out of them. We're not going to be hitting them with hammers, dropping them off first, running them over with the car or anything else like that. We want to keep them in good condition. We want to make sure that they're in as good a condition as possible, because we're going to be giving both of these away right here on the channel. But the only way you're going to be able to be eligible to get one of these things, because we're going to give one to each person, you have to like, share, and subscribe to this video and to this channel. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're SOL. But if you're one of our subscribers, somebody will be randomly selected from the comment section, and only the comment section, and we'll be selecting that person on October 1st. So if you watch the video, subscribe, make a comment, you might be one of the people walking out with one of these things. And considering this one is a $189 MSRP and this one is $229, we're not going to be giving away crap. Well, at least I hope not, because we're going to be trying these things out in the next section of this video. And here we go, we're off to the range. Alright, so 21 feet ahead, I've got a series of targets up there, and we're going to see whether or not this this Nutrek holds zero for a while. As you guys just remember, this was the Nutrek Red Dot that was sent to me to do a little review on. Got it mounted on my Ross Martin RM1C, and we got 15 rounds loaded. We're going to see downrange now. It's funny, I've been shooting it for a while tonight, and so far it's been doing all right. And I have a laser on this gun too, and it seems that the laser came out of zero, but the red dot hasn't. So we'll see what it looks like. We're gonna run some rounds downrange, and I'm gonna give you my impression of this thing. Alright, we're clear. And as you can see, I wasn't really trying to, accuracy, marksmanship. I wanted to see, and the rapid fire, am I going to be able to put the rounds on target the way I want to? So, I just wanted to shoot at the top left and see what it did. And, it's going to do its little dance. I'm right in here. I got 4 rounds just to the left of the red, and the rest of them are right there in there. So yeah, it's holding zero. It's doing pretty good for itself. I'm gonna set this back out. I'm gonna really try and hone down, and I'm gonna try and sink a couple right into this thing right here in the top right. See how close I can get to them. And sorry about that. The guys next door are shooting too, so, what are you going to do? But I'm going to try and put 2 rounds right up this top right to see if I can't pull them into the red, and then I'll know whether or not this thing is really actually holding zero. All right, 2 shots, top right. All right, they're within an inch of one another, but they're about 2 inches lower than my point of aim. So here we are right here. They're close. Now that could be me. It probably is. I'm not exactly as steady as I'd like to be, but for what it's worth, it's been keeping on target. I've got about 150 rounds through this gun tonight before I did this, and every one of those rounds has been pulling consistently within a 4-inch space from 21 to 50 feet. Now, I'm not going to be smashing this thing against brick walls. I'm not going to be throwing it on the floor or anything. I just wanted to be, I flop it around a little bit. I toss it across the counter. What would you do with the gun? You take your holster out, you take your gun, you put it on the table, whatever. I don't really feel like beating the living crap out of it, because I'm not going to beat the crap out of my stuff anyway. If I'm dropping a gun, if I think I did something to affect my red dot, I'm going to check, right? So, that's the way I'm looking at it. Is it going to get you through? Yeah. Is it $169? Yeah. Is it something you want to buy to cut your teeth on, to decide whether or not you want to step up to a hollow sun at $300, $400, $500, $600? Hey, you give it a shot. Now, we've got 3 more targets set up over here. I have the other Nutrek sight that they sent me, and I got that set up on my 5150 Apex rifle in 300 blackout, and I'm going to run a couple of magazines through it, and I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to run some offhand, and then I'm going to run some off of the rubber block, and we'll see if this thing holds group. Alright, now, from previous videos, you guys might remember this rifle. This is my 5150 Apex rifle that I get, and this one is chambered in 300 blackout. And this is the gun that does that little magical trick where if you want to change your uppers out on this thing, all you have to do is throw a lever and go like that, and you can swap it. And I also have a 5.56 upper for this, and I'm waiting on a 350 Legend upper for it as well. I wanted to be able to have something I could use in just about any county in the country that I wanted to. When you lock this thing back together, solid as a rock, zero play. This is the flattest shooting, fastest shooting rifle in the collection. This thing is an absolute beast. And I wanted to put this red dot on something that had a little bit more kick. So I'm using the 300 blackout as opposed to the 5.56, because this thing really mitigates all recoil. And I just wanted to have something a little bit more punch to it. Right now, I'm also running the magnifier on this thing because, eyes are getting old. But we're going to run a magazine through this thing. I think I got maybe 16 rounds left in this thing, I'm not sure. And just going to offhand this and see what it looks like. And then I'm going to set this thing out and shoot it again. Now, I have this thing zeroed in at 75 feet, which is where I wanted it to be. So when you bring it in low, all your shots are going to come out a little bit lower than what they did previous. So I'm going to set this thing out at 75. I'm going to put it on the block. Friends will leave it. And we're going to see if I can't tighten this group up. Now I'm going to shoot at the right-hand side of target. All right, so I got it 75 feet right now. I'm going to run this thing again and see what kind of group I can pull. Then I'm going to bring that back and I'll show you what it looks like. Now what's nice is I can use the flat top of this block right here because the 5150 rifle has the full-length Arca rail on it. Makes for a really nice stable platform. Alright, so I didn't have as many rounds in there as I thought I did, but we're going to bring this target back in and we're going to take a look at it. Alright, first 5 rounds I ran out before were right here in this little group. Remember, I set this out at 21 feet, and I know they were going to shoot a little bit low, so this is where they are. Now I set this back out at 75, And my group is a little bit higher, but that's fine because I want to be able to compensate for a little bit of drop. And since my range is only 75 feet in distance, this is exactly where I want these rounds to be hitting. And you can tell by the group right there, which you can put a quarter over it. That's not bad. Now what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to bring my point of aim a little bit lower, and I'm going to try to obliterate that red spot. I'm going to put 20 rounds in, send 20 runs down, and see what it does. And I realized that rather than going for that target on the right bottom, I realized that the center target was completely unhit. So I got 20 rounds loaded in. I'm going to send them down. I'm going to see if I can't punch the center of that target out. They're at 75 feet. Now, the one thing about the red dot is it's not really a dot. It's a dash. It's more or less a minus sign. It's not exactly a pinpoint period like you might be used to. And I have it only set to 3. So the brighter I get it, the wider and brighter it's going to get. Is it a big deal? Is it a deal breaker? No, it's not really a deal breaker because at this distance, I mean, you're looking at that dash on the target would represent about a 1-inch wide space on the target, and it's not that bad. It's again, it's not a $600 optic. It's a $150, $160 optic. If it stays on target, now like I said, I got a bunch of rounds through this thing tonight, and we smacked it around a little bit, and it seems to be holding true. I'm going to throw these 20 runs down there and see if I can't punch the center out, and then we'll come back with a verdict. Alright, so bag's empty, rifle's clear. I'm going to set this down here. And we're going to take a look. These rubber blocks are great, but they're not exactly the most stable thing when you're sitting on a swivelly stool. But alright, so remember, I have this thing set a little higher, so my aim point was a little bit lower. But as you see, the center of this thing is pretty much gone. I mean, now it's not exactly where I wanted it to be. Alright, sue me. But for what it is, I mean, it's a nice group. It's about 2 inches from its two widest points is about 2 inches at 75 feet. It's not that bad. Like I said, if you're looking to put a red dot on a rifle and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money and you don't want to go for a scope, you could do a whole lot worse. I've had some $200, $300 red dots that I've had to send back 2 and 3 times because they just didn't hold up at all. The Nutrek ones, they seem to do a pretty decent job. And like I said, when I ordered these, I ordered them from the bottom of their spectrum. They have higher dollar ones. These are pretty much entry level, and they seem to work. So I've got the Nutrek on that. I've got the Nutrek on this Ross Martin, and the reason we didn't really feel like beating the ever-living hell out of them is because we're going to give them away. So what you guys need to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then comment here. Now, at the end of this video, I'm gonna link another video to it for this Ross Martin, okay? Whoever comments on this video and that video One of you guys is going to get randomly selected. We're going to send both of these optics out to you. So remember, like and subscribe, comment here, go to the next video and comment there. If I see both names, you're in the pot for the drawing. If I don't see both names, well, you should out of luck. So until next time, I'll catch you guys back here at the Range Report. You guys be safe and shoot straight.